So probably the most important thing in terms of being able to solve the problem is being able to pick out the ratio that you need to use when you're doing this. All right, when you're doing any of these problems that are going to come up. So one of the most common questions that people ask when they're trying to get help on these problems is, well, which one am I supposed to use? And the problem with that is that the answer actually comes from you doing the problem. There's no way that I can tell you, hey, you've got to use sine when it looks like this, or hey, you've got to use cosine. You have to take the information that is presented to you in the problem, and you have to label the sides and say, okay, I've got the opposite of the adjacent. That means I have to use tangent. That's the only way that this works. So this is what I suggest that you do when you're trying to figure out what ratio to use. And this is incredibly important, because if you use the wrong ratio, you're going to get an answer most of the time, and you're not going to know that it's wrong. So you have no idea. So number one, I want you to label the triangle. All right, so label the triangle with the sides and the stuff that you're supposed to do, the opposite, the adjacent, the hypotenuse. Number two, write this down. This is something I want you to write down basically every problem, every time anyway, but write it down. All right, circle the sides that you're using. All right, circle the sides you're using. Circle the sides you're using. Okay, and then whatever two sides are involved in the problem, there's always going to be two. Either you're going to know two of them, or you're going to be looking for one and know one. There's always going to be two sides in the problem. Whatever ratio you're going to pick is the ratio that involves those sides. All right, so we pick the ratio out that involves the sides that are involved in the problem. The angle is important because that tells you where the sides are. Okay, but then after that, the ratio is picked from the sides that are involved in the problem. All right, this takes practice, and if you practice it, it becomes easy. Because you'll be like, oh, opposite adjacent has to be tangent. All right, oh, that's hypotenuse and opposite has to be sine. All right, that's what we need to be able to do. This takes practice. Like I said, if you don't practice it, it becomes 100% impossible.